Drake just found out the hard way that Kendrick Lamar is not someone you want to start a feud with. Kendrick might just be the pettiest rapper out there. As if winning 5 Grammys for his diss track, Not Like Us, wasn't humiliating enough for Drake. Kendrick took things even further. He performed the song at the Super Bowl, making sure the entire world saw him celebrate his win. But that wasn't all. He didn't stop there. He brought out Serena Williams to dance while he ripped into Drake during his performance. That moment had the entire audience in shock, and social media exploded with reactions. It didn't take long for people to realize that Drake was definitely not okay with what happened. The fact that Kendrick involved his ex in the performance clearly pushed him over the edge. He didn't just brush it off, he completely lost it. And just like that, the beef was reignited. Now, people are wondering, is Drake about to hit the...
And if I've learned anything this year, it's that none of us, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Hey! He will make your hometown not like you. The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're gonna Forrest Gump him. Sights tight.
Studio again and fire back with another diss track? And more importantly, how did Kendrick even manage to get Serena to agree to be part of this? Let's break it all down. First of all, it probably wasn't hard for Kendrick to convince Serena to join him on stage. If anything, she might have jumped at the opportunity. It's no secret that Serena is not a fan of Drake. In fact, she might have been more than willing to be part of the performance just to get a little revenge. If you've been paying attention, you'll remember that this wasn't the first time Serena has subtly shaded Drake. Last year, when she was presenting at an event, she casually slipped in the signature dance move from Not Like Us. The event had nothing to do with Drake or Kendrick, yet she still found a way to send a message. That moment alone had people talking, and it was clear that she still had strong feelings about Drake, just not the kind he'd want. So, what exactly happened between them that made Serena so mad? If you didn't already know, Drake and Serena used to be a thing back in the day. But after they broke up, things took a messy turn. Instead of moving on, Drake seemed to take it personally.
To have a fixation with Halle Berry, but she's already
I do.
Regos and
Yeah. That was unfortunate, but
would you really have, like, let's say she wasn't?
Yeah.
Would you seriously consider
like being with her?
Yeah.
100%.
He didn't just let her go. He made it his mission to embarrass her in any way he could. And honestly, this isn't surprising. Drake has a long history of handling rejection in the worst way possible. Whenever a woman turns him down, he doesn't just move on. He takes shots at them for years. We've seen this pattern with Rihanna. Drake spent years throwing shade at her and her relationship with A$AP Rocky. Even though Rihanna completely ignored him after they broke up, he kept bringing her up, making little digs and acting like he couldn't let go. It was embarrassing to watch because it was clear that Rihanna had moved on, but Drake just wouldn't take the hint. You'd think he'd eventually get tired of obsessing over her, but nope, he kept going, and it's not just Rihanna. Drake has a weird history with a lot of women in the industry, and one of the strangest situations involved Halle Berry. For years, he made it clear that he had a thing for her. He openly talked about how much he admired her in interviews and posted about her on social media. But despite his public admiration, Halle never gave him the time of day. She simply wasn't interested. But instead of respecting that and moving on, Drake continued making questionable comments about her. Some of them were awkward, while others crossed the line into being downright inappropriate. One of the most uncomfortable moments happened when Halle Berry announced her pregnancy. Instead of just congratulating her like a normal person, Drake took it as another opportunity to make a weird comment. He turned it into something about himself, which made people cringe because it was completely unnecessary, but it didn't stop there. Drake took things to an even creepier level by name-dropping Halle Berry in his music. And not in a flattering way, more like in a way that made people uncomfortable. One example was in his verse on the Versace remix with Migos, where he rapped, "Take a famous girl out where there's no paparazzi. I'm trying to give Halle Berry a baby and no one can stop me." If that doesn't scream weird, I don't know what does. There was nothing playful or charming about it. It was just unsettling. Halle Berry had never shown interest in him, Yet he was out here rapping about having a baby with her like he had some claim over her. Then things got even worse. When Drake was getting ready to drop his album For All the Dogs, he decided to use an old picture of Halle Berry as the cover art for his song Slime You Out featuring SCA. But the picture he chose wasn't just any regular photo. It was a throwback of Halle Berry getting slimed at the 2012 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
No big deal.
Up-and-coming relationships, everything's going to be very light. Not going to get like heavily into things.
No, I get heavy on a couple joints, but this is more about me and Serena, so I
gathered that.
But I wanted to make a song.
But you don't want it to be
well, it's funny because when I make songs about women, I also make songs for them, so I know what kind of song to make. If I'm going to talk about them, I'll at least do them the justice of making them a song that they like.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know Serena very well, and I know that she'll hear it loud and clear, but she'll also not hate me for it because it's lighthearted. You know?
And she is seeing someone else.
Now, why on earth would he use that photo? Out of all the images he could have picked, he went with something that made her look ridiculous. It was a deliberate choice, and it felt like another one of his weird passive-aggressive moves. Halle Berry was not happy about it, and she made it very clear that she didn't approve. She even called him out for using the image without her permission. So when you put all of this together, it's not hard to see why Serena Williams was more than happy to join Kendrick on stage and throw a little shade at Drake. She's not the first woman to have dealt with his antics, and she probably won't be the last. But this time, she got the chance to hit back, and she took it. As for Drake, he clearly did not take it well. Instead of letting it go, he's now fired things up again. The beef between him and Kendrick was already intense, but now that Serena has been brought into it, it's got
no one is safe from the slime!
gotten even messier. And the big question now is, what's next? Is Drake about to drop another diss track? Will he try to come back at Kendrick with something even bigger? One thing is for sure, this feud is far from over. If we know anything about Kendrick, it's that he's calculated. He doesn't just respond to drama, he plans his moves carefully. So if Drake does decide to clap back, Kendrick is probably already 10 steps ahead, waiting to hit him with something even worse. Drake has a history of not taking rejection well. He previously asked H for permission to use her picture, got a no, and still used it. Typical Drake behavior. Turns out, he pulled the same move with Serena Williams, and that's a big reason she dislikes him. Serena not only moved on from Drake, but she's happily married with 2 kids. Last year, Drake dropped a surprise 100 GB stash of content on a mysterious site, 100gigs.org. Instead of using official channels, he announced it via a burner Instagram account he'd been quietly running. The dump contained unreleased tracks with Young Thug, 21 Savage, and Lotto, plus rare behind-the-scenes footage from his albums Take Care, Views, and Certified Lover Boy. Fans also saw never-before-seen moments with Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rihanna, and others. Many speculated this was a distraction from his messy feud with Kendrick Lamar, but if that was the plan, it flopped. The drama with Kendrick only escalated. Adding to the chaos, fans found a clip of Drake casually telling his mom that Too Good wasn't about Rihanna, but about Serena Williams. Drake and Serena had rumors swirling in 2010, but like Rihanna, she never publicly claimed him. While he played the lovesick puppy, Serena moved on and built a beautiful life with Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. When she married Alexis, Drake flipped. Despite years of idolizing her, he suddenly started throwing shade. On Middle of the Ocean, he rapped, "Serena, your husband a groupie." The irony? He had been her most embarrassing groupie for years. Alexis clapped back with class, posting